It's nice to see everybody. So welcome on board. Do you have any special questions for tonight?
Yeah, I got a question.
All right.
This is Gabriel.
All right.
Okay, so I was going over the quizzes and the information that you gave to us,
Okay.
I didn't know how to answer one of the questions.
Okay.
So the question you gave us, there was only two variables. But when I went over to try and solve it in the information with the lessons, they
Mhm.
used four variables and I didn't know how to answer that question.
Okay. I'm going to pull out the question. All right. Is that okay?
Yeah, I think it was the supply and demand quiz.
That is all the way in week 1, right? The last module 4.
I think so.
Okay. Let's go there. Okay, supply and demand. That's module 3. Okay. All right. I'm going to pull up the quiz. So I'll share my screen and let's hope we see. Are you seeing my screen?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay. All right. So which question was that? I'm going to pull it up, and when you see the question, let us know.
This one right here, number 4.
Okay. If the percentage change in quantity supplied is 10% and the percentage change in price is 5%, then the supply for the good is okay. Now, this here you have to calculate the elasticity. And when we go to the interpretation of elasticity, what is it that we are told? Suppose the percentage change in quantity supplied divided by the percentage change in price is greater than 1, then the supply is price elastic. If the percentage change in quantity supplied divided by the percentage change in price is less than 1, then the supply is price inelastic. If the percentage change in quantity supplied divided by percentage change in price is equal to 1, then the supply is unit elastic, all right? So in this case, what you have to do is to do a calculation. And I'm going to stop share and look at the example, okay? I'll look at an example. So I'm going to pull up a blank screen and we solve through an example. All right, so are you seeing my blank screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So elasticity. Elasticity is the responsiveness of quantity demanded or quantity supplied to changes in price. Okay, so how do we measure elasticity? We take percentage change, and I'm going to use let me just write it in full, percentage change quantity, and it could be over the percentage change in price. And so let's just make it simple. Over percentage change in price. Okay. Let's see if I can make this easier to deal with. Okay. So if this is greater than 1, I'm going to just take my time since we're not in any rush now. Let's take our time and do this. Okay. All right. Percentage change. Okay. This is percentage change in quantity over percentage change in price. So that is your measure of elasticity. This is how you measure elasticity. Okay. All right. So it could be percentage change in quantity demanded over percentage change in price, or it could be percentage change in quantity supplied over percentage change in price. Okay. So if this is greater than 1, that means we have that demand or supply is elastic. Okay. Now we can do it another way. We can get another kind of result. Now, if percentage change in quantity is divided by percentage change in price is less than 1, then demand or supply is inelastic. So for this particular problem, what result did you get? All right. Are you seeing my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. You are seeing what I am solving.
Yeah, I see that. I didn't know how to put it in the formula.
Very good. That's what we're going to do. But you can see percentage change in quantity divided by percentage change in price is a measure of elasticity. Is that clear? Hello?
Yeah.
It's clear, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So now, if percentage change in quantity over percentage change in price is equal to 1, that means demand is unit elastic. Okay. Okay. Inelastic, you have elastic, inelastic, and unit elastic. So now that we have this information, I'm going to stop share. And okay, so let's go back and look at the question. Okay, so if percentage change in quantity supplied is 10% and percentage change in price is 5%, what do we have? 10 is percentage change in quantity supplied. Am I correct?
Yeah.
So we divide 10% by 5%. What do you get?
You get 2%.
You get 2. You don't get 2%. You get 2.
Okay.
Because this is percent divided by percent. So what you get is 2. You get it?
Yeah.
Good. And we said if percentage change in quantity supplied divided by percentage change in price is greater than 1, what do we say? Were you taking notes?
Yeah. You said that the what happened? Repeat that.
Okay. When we measure the elasticity in the formula, am I correct?
Yeah.
And we said if percentage change in quantity supplied divided by percentage change in price is greater than 1.
It's elastic.
Its supply is price elastic. If it is demand we're measuring, then demand is price elastic. So in this case, what number did we get?
Well, according to this, you get 2. So it's more
Good.
than 1. So it's elastic.
So the answer is elastic.
But that's not how it was in the video that was shown to me.
Well, which video? I want to see that video.
It was the video you gave in with the professor, with, I guess it was a teacher, and it was like 20 minutes long. And he said you divide the quantity supplied by the quantity demanded,
No.
or
No.
something like that.
So let's go through that video. I want to see the video. Okay. So I'm going to stop share, and we're going to look at that video. All right. You get it?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see what the video is saying. And so maybe we need to clarify the video, or maybe you need to see something that is different from. Okay, I'm going to go into share screen. Oh, wait a minute. Let me do it another way. Okay. Because it's in. I'm going to pull up the information first, and then I will share screen. All right, I am ready to share screen. Are you seeing my screen?
Yeah, it was the first one.
This first one?
Yeah, it was using the midpoint method.
Okay. Now, we're using the midpoint method, and again, what you do then in the midpoint method, you calculate the percentage change in quantity, and also you calculate the percentage change in price. And so you are given 2 prices and 2 quantities. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Very good. So what happens then is that you take the first quantity, subtract the second quantity, and divide by the first quantity. That gives you the percentage change in quantity. You do the same for price. So let us see where you maybe something was not clear to you, and we can clarify. You can see the second video here talk about percentage change in quantity demanded over percentage change in price, and they're using this delta symbol. Okay, but let's see.
Well, I was using this video to see if I to find if the price was elastic or inelastic. I was trying to see if I could use that method and it wasn't working.
Okay.
No, you can skip like 5 to 7 minutes in. That's where it is. Yeah, around here.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Hello, Professor. This is Kepali Little. I'm trying to access the meeting on my computer and I cannot do it. I'm trying my hardest. I'm on my phone right now and the stuff is very small. I could barely see it.
Okay. Let me see. Are you seeing it better now? Okay.
I don't understand why I can't get it on my computer, but I can get it on my phone.
Okay, let's go through this. Okay. Okay. Let me stop it here. Somebody who was raising this question? Demero?
No, it was
No,
me.
Little.
No, I think that's Gabriel who asking this question.
Okay, Gabriel.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the point where you need clarification. Am I correct?
Yeah, right here.
Okay. So what happens here is in order to the question you had in the quiz gave you the percentage changes. But what this YouTube video or what this video is showing you is how to calculate your own percentage.
Oh, okay, I get you. So basically, it already did the first step for me. And I only had to do the second one.
That's correct.
Okay, I got you.
You get it now?
Yeah, I got it.
All right. Okay, somebody was saying they couldn't get in. They could get in on their phone. I'm not sure I understand what the problem is. Do you want to be seeing what we're seeing, or is it just that when you see it, it gets to be small?
No, well, I mean, it's better if I can see it enlarged on my computer instead of my phone. And I've been trying to get in since 7:30.
Oh, okay. But I mean, I can see you.
Zoom in on your phone and you can see everything.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, so now we have sort of resolved that question. What this video is doing is that it's showing you all the steps. You have to calculate your own percentages, and this is how to calculate your percentage. Your percentage is you take the first, if you look at the quantity, you take the first quantity minus the second quantity divided by the first quantity. So you get a percentage there. When you look at the price, you get the first price minus the second price divided by the first price, then you get a percentage for price. And then you go to the next step, which is to now divide the two percentages according to the formula, and you make a decision about elasticity. Are we clear on that now? Hello, friends?
Yes, Professor. It's clear.
All right. Okay. I want to know if we are making progress. I want to be sure that we're making progress, so we don't just be talking and some people are picking it up and some people are not. All right, so let's, does anybody else have any other special question for today? I'm going to leave that quiz open, the quiz I'm going to leave the quiz for 3 open so that, you know, if you want to go and redo it, feel free to do so.
Professor, I have a question.
Sure.
The midterm, are we gonna have a midterm or are we gonna have a final?
You're going to have a midterm, and the midterm is going to be this week. You know, I should have announced it today. Since I did not announce it, today is Tuesday, so you're going to have it. I'm going to announce it so that we're going to have it on Thursday, on Friday and Saturday. Or we can have it on Thursday and Friday.
And is it gonna be new questions or is it gonna be like the questions that we already gotten?
I wouldn't promise you that it's gonna be new questions or the questions you already have, but it's gonna be on the topics that you know. Essentially, it's gonna take some of the questions that you already know. I might just modify them a little bit, but it's gonna be something that you know, something that is based on the topics we have studied.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Any other questions? Okay, I'm gonna go through.
Yes, I have one last question. Professor, I'm
Okay.
waiting, you know, there's the next, not the discussion, the assignments, right?
Okay.
Some of the questions are kind of like similar. I was waiting, are you gonna grade the last 2 submitted assignments? Because I wanted to get the feedback so I know if I'm wrong before I answer the next 2 assignments.
Okay, yes, I'm gonna do my best to grade them like tomorrow or Thursday. So again, if I need to extend the assignment, I mean, this week will be the last week of extensions because end of next week is the end of the class. But still, yes, I will extend things so that at least we master whatever we have learned before we get into the final phase.
Are we able to redo an assignment if we didn't like the grade we received?
Not an assignment. The quiz is something that you can redo.
Oh,
Now,
only
if you feel in advance that well, you learned something new and so you might want to redo an assignment, send me an email and I will just clear the assignment and you can do it over.
Okay.
Before
Okay,
I grade it.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay. Because when I grade it, I'll give you a feedback, which essentially answers the question for you.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for, especially that one question about Walmart. So
okay, so let's talk
Mhm.
about the question. I think the best thing is to talk about the question.
Okay.
And discuss it now and then you can go and do the assignment. Is that a deal?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea because then at least I can gain some more perspective and then feel more confident going into the next assignment.
Okay, so which module is that? Is this something from this week or is this something from last week?
I think this was the last assignment. This is actually the last assignment where, okay, I'm gonna read it. I'm pulling it up. So it's it says one of the concerns about Walmart's entry into the grocery business in the latter part of 1990 was that it would sell low prices to drive little stores out of business and then raise prices to monopoly levels when it had no competition. Can you explain why this happened? So I answered it to what I thought, but you know, there's the next two assignments that kind of is a little similar. I just don't know if I'm right or wrong.
Okay, it looks like you're moving a little bit ahead. Is it in a quiz or a written assignment?
It's a written assignment. I submitted it since Sunday. It was the last assignment. It already closed.
Okay, let's see. This is assignment number 7. It's not closed yet.
No,
this is due on the 14th. One of the
No,
concerns about that's like
you have it in minimum wage. You have it in
okay, all right.
yeah,
Thank you very
you
much.
have it. You have it there.
Okay, that's good to know that you even can reflect back on where things are. Many people don't. I'm very proud of you. Okay. Price controls. Okay. Minimum wage. Okay, think about this. One of the concerns about Walmart's entry was that it would set low prices, drive little stores out of business, and then raise prices to monopoly levels when it had no competition. Can you explain why it has not happened? Okay. Okay, so this is like thinking ahead, and we might as well answer the question now. Okay. This question is misplaced because it also says, what are the key differences between monopolistic competition and perfect competition? I'm going to take this out for future students because this is a topic we're just about to begin to study. Okay. But the whole idea is that this is a strategy in business. Okay. You go in with low prices because Walmart has a lot of capital. So it can absorb loss for a short period of time. And then, it will drive, other small businesses that don't have capital to absorb losses. And so, and once they leave, what happens? Walmart is alone in the market. And so Walmart can now raise prices, and those other businesses that have been driven out will not be able to come back. But the point of the matter is that why is it that it hasn't happened? Why is it that the small business have not been driven out, for one? Why is it that the Walmart has not raised prices? Because the American economic system is a competitive system. Okay, you cannot force anybody out, by law. And so what has happened is that when you think about the American business environment, there are what you might call services that not everybody can provide. Okay. Now, can Walmart drive everybody out of business like that? The answer is simply no. Walmart needs a big space in order to set up. Have you been to a Walmart? Hello?
You said, have I ever been to Walmart?
Yes, I'm asking everybody. Have you ever been to Walmart? You've been to Walmart?
I have.
Okay.
Yes.
What is the closest Walmart?
For me, in Queens.
No, that's Long
Queens?
Island.
In my neighborhood is way out there in the mall, but you don't always want to, everything you want to buy that can be in Walmart can also be around the neighborhood. and it may not be worth it to travel all the way to where you can find Walmart to buy what you want to buy. And so there is some kind of differentiated competition. Other businesses offering convenience, for sure. Just to offer convenience, the convenience of you throw something on your body and you step out the neighborhood and you pick up what you want. Okay, so it's not easy for Walmart to achieve that objective. But it's good that you brought this thing up. I don't know how it came in here. That question has to be modified. All right. And by the time you get to the other part, you have learned about monopolistic competition and about perfect competition. So you should be able to answer that question based on what you know about monopolistic competition. So what I expect you then to do when you get to the module, that's in module 7, where it rightly belongs, you should be able to bring in the concepts of monopolistic competition to answer the question about Walmart. The concept that you learn in monopolistic competition will help you to answer the question about Walmart.
Okay, thank you, Professor.
All right. I'm going to go quickly through I'm going to go quickly through some of the lectures that I thought about for today. Not really a lecture, but just to go through the PowerPoint slides and to sort of like clarify some things. And of course, as you answer the quizzes, you should be able to, if you need to get clarification, we're going to have another office hour on Tuesday next week, so that everybody will be on the same page. And if you all feel like we need another session, please feel free to ask me. I might try to be able to make out some time. On Friday night, I will not be able to make out that kind of time, but maybe on Thursday night, or maybe even over the weekend, if that makes you happy. I might try to squeeze that time, but definitely Tuesday next week, or you can ask something on Monday, we can have something Monday and have something Tuesday. In that way, we kind of like fill in any gaps that you have. If we have something on Monday and Tuesday, then one of them will be strictly question and answer. If there's something that you have been trying to struggle with that you don't understand, talk about it, and we will go through a question and answer session. So for today, I'm going to basically review the markets. I'm going to basically review market structures, okay, how businesses function. And so we're going to talk about, cost of production. We're going to talk about profits. We're going to talk about the market structure. We're going to talk about competition. Then we're going to talk about monopoly, and we're going to talk about monopolistic competition. And so in that way, we will have a basic understanding of where we're going next. All right. So I'm going to start here. I will share screen. All right. Are you seeing my screen? Hello.
Yes,
Yeah.
Professor.
All right. Now, basically, what we're going to talk about here is how businesses operate in terms of how they stay in business, how they stay out of business. So all right. So now businesses function based on revenues and costs. Okay. And so when businesses operate, they have what you call explicit costs and also implicit costs. Okay. Now, explicit costs are costs that require a business to lay out resources to acquire them. For example, if you hire labor, that's an explicit cost. If you purchase materials, so suppose that you manufacture, suppose that you are in retail, and you purchase apples and then you sell the apples. Okay, you purchase apples at a cost, you sell the apples for a price. Okay, now understand the difference what we say in economics: cost and price. Cost is what you lay out, price is what you receive as a business. And so you have explicit costs. If you purchase materials, that's an explicit cost. If you pay for electricity, that's an explicit cost. If you pay for labor, that's an explicit cost. Now, what we call implicit costs. Now, implicit costs are costs that you do not lay out cash for, but they are there as a cost, okay? And I'll give you an example of an implicit cost. Suppose you are a chef. Suppose you are a chef. You can go and work for somebody and you earn $50 an hour, okay? Or you earn $1,000 a month, $10,000 a month, whatever it is, okay? Now, suppose that instead of going and work for somebody, you open your own restaurant. So there's an opportunity cost. The opportunity cost is what you would have earned if you were working out there and earning some wage. It's an implicit cost. So when you calculate your profit, you must deduct that implicit cost, okay? Because you would have earned money working for somebody else. After you deduct that implicit cost, then whatever that you have revenue minus explicit minus implicit cost now becomes what we call pure profit, okay? When you take your revenues, and I'm going to see if I can make an example here, okay? So revenue minus implicit cost minus explicit cost is what you call profit, okay? Okay, so let me make this small so that it doesn't flow over. All right. Now, this is what you call your profit. Revenue minus implicit cost minus explicit cost, okay, equals profit. Now, if, say, your profit equals 0, right, that is called normal profit. Now, what does that mean? What it means that if you open your restaurant as a chef and you subtract your explicit cost, the cost of labor, the cost of food, the cost of electricity, and what have you, and then you subtract what you would have earned if you were working for somebody else, and you make no profit, in economics, we call that normal profit. Now, if profit is greater than 0, that is to say, by the time you deduct what you would have earned if you were working for somebody and you still have a surplus, then that is what we'll call pure profit, okay? Or excess profit. In economics, we'll call that excess profit. Of course, excess profit means that, well, if you have been working for somebody and you were making $50 an hour, and after you deduct that implicit cost, you still make a lot of profit, what's going to happen? Some other chef that knows what you know will now decide, okay, then I want to come in business, okay? Because I want to make the kind of profit, because you make more money than you would have made if you were working for somebody, okay? So all right. So now, what are the costs that you incur in a business? Okay, that's what we call fixed cost. Okay? Suppose that you opened a restaurant and say you rented the space. Okay, suppose you rented the space. The space is $5,000 a month to rent the space. That's a fixed cost. Because you're renting that space, whether or not you sell one plate of food or you sell nothing, the cost is fixed. Okay? You could sell 10,000 plates of food, the cost will not change because it's a fixed cost. All right? Even if it's your basement that you use for the restaurant. Now, remember, you could have rented the basement from us. And so that becomes an implicit cost. Okay? It's an implicit cost, but it is still fixed. Now, then you have variable costs. Variable costs are those costs that change depending on the amount of output. For example, if you sell 10 plates of food, you're going to use ingredients for 10 different plates of food. Okay? If you hire labor, the more output, then the more labor you use. All right? If you, let us say that you are making smoothies. Okay? Take something very simple. Okay? Then the more smoothies you make, then the more fruit you're going to use, the more milk you're going to use, or the more whatever fluid you're going to use. So your costs vary based on output, right? If you're driving a taxi cab, the more miles you drive, the more gasoline you use, the more depreciation you put on your vehicle. So total cost is a combination of the total variable cost plus the total fixed cost. So this is, okay, yeah, it's very clearly written. Total variable cost, okay, TVC, and plus total fixed cost, okay, is equal to total cost. Okay, so that's your cost. Now, average cost is cost per unit, which is total variable cost divided by quantity of output. That is average cost, okay? And I'm going to what is average variable cost, okay? Cost per unit. And of course, average total cost is a different thing, okay? Average variable cost is total variable cost divided by quantity of output, and average fixed cost is total fixed cost divided by quantity of output. So I'm going to reduce this. So average total cost will be equal to, I'm going to try to make this be total cost over quantity. And an example will be, suppose we had which is total fixed cost plus total variable cost divided by quantity. Okay. An example will be say 10,000 divided by say 5,000. So total average total cost will be 2. Okay. Say 10,000 divided by quantity. Quantity is 2,500. And so what do we have? What we have is 4. So the average total cost will be 4. And you can do this for, say, average variable cost. If you know the average variable cost, you divide it by the quantity, then you have average variable cost. And that is what businesses do. And then the other important cost that we think about in business is what we call marginal cost. Marginal cost is the extra cost of producing an additional unit. And marginal cost might change depending on your quantity of production. Okay, marginal cost, for example, could change. The more you produce, the lower the marginal cost. Okay, because you could be producing in volume. Because remember, your fixed cost is fixed, and so your variable cost might actually be getting lower and lower if you have a situation where volume enables you to produce at a lower cost. All right, so now we're going to think about now how does this help us manage a business? Okay, how does it help us manage a business? Now, how it helps us to manage a business is that I'll give you an example. Okay, and I want to simplify things here. As you can see, I'll try to use an example okay. I'll try to use an example. Let's say that you go to buy goods that you're going to sell, and somebody says to you, if you buy one, and I believe you all have had this experience. If you buy one or less than 5, you're going to pay $3 each. Okay, but if you buy 6 or more, then the next 5, after the first 5 is $3, then the next 5 you buy will be $2. So in that case, your marginal cost is $2 a piece instead of $3. Okay, and then if you buy 11 or more, okay, then you're gonna pay $1.75. So you can see your marginal cost is declining over time. But let us say that what you are selling is such that you are able to sell for, say, $3. Okay, if your marginal cost is $3 and your price is $3, you might actually still buy and sell, but your profit is going to be 0. Okay, now if you're going to sell for $3 and your additional cost is $5, then your marginal cost, your marginal revenue, which is the price you're going to get, is less than your marginal cost. Okay, so what happens is that in business, if your marginal revenue is less than your marginal cost, then you don't stay in business. But if your marginal revenue exceeds your marginal cost, then you can stay in business because you're going to make a profit for each additional unit that you sell. Now, this brings us to what happens in the market. Okay, so let us take a quick view. Okay. Now, when you go to the market system, what you have, there are three kinds of market structures. Okay. There are three kinds of major market structures. Actually, you can add a fourth kind, and yes, there is a fourth kind. Okay. You have a perfect competition. Then you have monopoly. Okay. Monopoly is the opposite of perfect competition. Then you have monopolistic competition, and then you have oligopoly. Okay. But for this class, we're going to focus on only three. Okay. Perfect competition, monopoly, and monopolistic competition. Okay. Now, in perfect competition, what are the conditions for perfect competition to exist? And I'll provide an example of a perfectly competitive market. Okay. The conditions for perfect competition to exist are: one, there are numerous, that is many sellers in the market. There are many sellers in the market. And so, and secondly, there is free entry into the market. As anybody that wants to sell, any entity that wants to participate can go in and out, and there is no barrier at all. There is no obstacle. Everybody that wants to be in the market can go into the market. There are many sellers, and any new seller can enter the market at any time. Okay. Now, of course, it's also assumed then if there are many sellers and any new seller can come in, that means there is no collusion, there is no conspiracy among the sellers. Okay. Now, the price in a perfectly competitive market is set. There is no one seller and there's no one buyer that can influence the price. Okay. And so the price is given. Okay. Which case there is no one seller that has price making power. In which case, if any seller withdraws from the market, it is not going to affect that price. The withdrawal from the market will not affect price because there are just infinite quantities of the goods available. Okay. And there's no buyer that can also influence the price. All right. So, and also there is perfect competition. Everybody has the same information. Nobody can hide any information that is going to influence price or going to influence quantity. So under those circumstances, what you have here for the market, the market has a downward sloping demand curve and an upward sloping supply curve. But for each company, for each firm, for each seller in the market, the price is fixed. Okay, the price is fixed. That's, you can only sell at the market price. Now, what happens then is that you can see then that the profit for the perfect competitive firm is maximized where price is equal to marginal cost. The marginal cost will be rising, as you can see. And so the quantity that will make the most profit is the price at which marginal cost is equal to marginal revenue, or marginal cost is marginal revenue is also equal to price. So for each additional unit that you sell, you make exactly the same extra money. Now, what I need to discuss next, because we're running out of time, is that we have the opposite. Okay, we have the opposite. Let me see if I can get the opposite of perfect competition is monopoly. Okay, let me stop share this and see if I can pick up monopoly. Let's see. Are you seeing my screen? Hello?
Yes, Professor.
All right. Are you seeing monopoly?
Yes.
Okay. So the opposite of perfect competition is monopoly. Okay. So in monopoly, you have only one seller in the market. Okay. And the monopolist can set prices, but cannot set quantity. The monopoly can set quantity, but not price, which case the monopoly can only set one of the variables in the market, either the quantity or the price, okay? And so now the same conditions for profit maximization arise, except that you can see in monopoly, you have a downward sloping demand curve, okay? And a downward sloping marginal revenue curve. But in competition, in perfect competition, the demand curve is a straight flat line, and the marginal revenue is also equal to the average revenue, okay? And so a monopolist can make excess profit, but a competitive firm cannot make excess profit because in competition, what happens is that other sellers enter the market if there is excess profit. But in monopoly, because there's only one seller, other sellers cannot enter the market if there's excess profit, because there are barriers to entry. And the barriers could be that they have a patent, okay? Or the laws can allow a monopolist to have a monopoly, or the market could be small, okay, that cannot accommodate two businesses. And so this is why they talked about the, what do you call it, about Walmart, okay? Now, besides monopoly and perfect competition, then you have what you call monopolistic competition, okay? You have monopolistic competition. Now, what differentiates monopoly from monopolistic competition and competition? Now, what differentiates monopolistic competition is that in perfect competition, you have the same product. There's no variation in the product. A good example, but not one that is exactly that. A good example would be basic hot dogs in the market, okay? You come as close as possible to a perfect competition, okay? And a good example of monopolistic competition will be, say, the automobile, okay? Because you have variations in the automobile. So you can have, preferences. If you like to drive a big car, that differentiates your taste from those who like to drive a small car, okay? Again, another example of monopolistic competition, you can say like in clothing, okay? Because you might like clothing of different kind of colors, of different kinds of design. Other examples of monopolistic competition could be even food in the restaurant, because you like certain kinds of food and not others. And so you have variations that enable a company not only to be competitive, okay, but also to have specific markets that they serve, specific customers they serve in the market. And so they create variations that do not make the product exactly identical. In perfect competition, the products are exactly identical. In monopoly, there is no other choice. There's only one product. There is no substitute for it. And so, there is no variation. But in monopolistic competition, you have similar products, but they are not exactly identical. And so there's an element of monopoly for the segment of the market, and there's also an element of competition because another company can come in and offer a product that is similar, but not exactly the same. And if the product is only similar, but not exactly the same, then there are variations that enable the companies to compete, but they cannot drive each other out of the market, okay? All right, so we have looked at three market structures and the way they function and the way they are able to sustain the market. The next thing then is when you read through the chapters here, if you have questions, bring them up or request a meeting so that we can go through each of them a little bit, a little bit more in depth. Okay. All right. Does anybody have any questions? Hello.
Yeah, yes, I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a question. This is
Sure.
Kepali Kana. Is this stuff gonna be on the midterm because you're giving
No.
a lot of information?
No.
And it's like a lot-
This is not going to be on the midterm. No. This is going to be on the final. What will be on the midterm will go up to, let's see.
Because you're giving a lot of information. I'm trying to get it all and read it and watch it and all, but it's really a lot.
I know, I hear you. What will really be on the midterm will go only up to actually we'll just go up to module 4. That is what we had in during the first week.
Okay, so everything up to module 4 is gonna be on the midterm?
Yes.
Okay, and what you just went over is gonna be on the final.
Gonna be on the final, yes. Maybe up to module 5. That's the most you're gonna see in the midterm. Nothing of module 6 or module 7. No.
Up to modules from 1 to 7 is gonna be on the midterm.
No, from 1 to 5 at the most.
What? Okay, okay.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
How much time will we have for the midterm?
I'll give you 2 hours.
Okay.
I will
How
give you
many
2
questions?
hours on the midterm. I mean,
How many questions?
Even if I didn't set it so, you can hold me to it.
What'd you say?
I said, even if I didn't set the midterm to be 2 hours, I'm going to go and adjust it and I'll give you 2 hours.
No, how many questions?
Oh, about 50 questions.
50?
Yeah, 50. 50.
50 questions on the midterm or the final?
On the midterm. Oh, 25 questions, 25 questions, not 50.
Oh, thank
Oh,
you.
good. Half of that. 25 on the midterm.
Yes, 25 questions.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, in the midterm, we'll just go up to module 5.
Okay, and on the syllabus, it tells us when the midterm is, exact, right?
What did it say?
Hold on, I will have to go to it, and it's like, hold on, I might could tell you.
Professor, I have a question. The
Yes.
quiz, at any time, are we able to just take it over? Like,
Yes. If
like
you
I
need,
can be able to take over a quiz 2 if I'd like right now?
just make a request
Oh,
and I'll
perfect.
reopen it.
Okay, thank you.
Professor,
Yes.
yeah, it doesn't, on the syllabus, I'm looking at it now, and it doesn't say when the midterm is.
The midterm is gonna be Friday and Saturday coming.
Oh, this week.
Yes.
Okay,
Will
thank you.
it have multiple attempts as well?
We'll have like 3 attempts.
Thank you, Professor.
Okay, thank you.
All right. You have like 2 or 3 attempts. I'll make it 3 since I said 3.
Well, thank you. I feel I got some clarification. It took me a little while to get into this into this Zoom meeting, but I'm here and I'm happy and I got the information I needed.
All right. And I'm going to post this because it's being recorded.
Professor, I have a
Oh, thank
question.
you.
All
Professor,
right. All right.
I have a question.
Sure. Go ahead.
For the midterm, right?
Yeah.
Are we gonna be able to go back to a question? Because for the quiz that we took today, I wasn't able to go back to any question.
Okay, I'm gonna remove that feature. It's kind of like it's like a default. So
Oh.
and I really don't pay attention to it. But now that you bring it up, I'm going to remove that feature where you will be allowed to go back.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. All right. Okay, guys. Thanks for attending. So I'm going to post the video. So if you want to watch it again, you can watch it again.
Thank you. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Have a good night, guys.
Good night,
Thank you,
guys.
Professor. Good night. Thank you. Good night,
Good night.
everybody.